Hello there, this is Pam Dunn. I am the founder of the Peaceful Project. I am also the owner of Your Infinite Life Training and Coaching Company. And today I am going to continue to have a conversation about self-care. You know, we are currently in unprecedented times. And so I've discovered that what that requires is unprecedented self-care. And while, I had made this discovery now, the reality is that imagine having such a balanced life that we are taking care of ourselves holistically on a regular basis. Then we would probably circumvent and avoid so much stress and those knee-jerk reactions that we often have. And we would feel like we could operate more from the truth of who we are. Because self-care is designed to be nourishing, to be nurturing, and to provide the room so that our threshold of what we can handle is expanded. Because actually we need that right now. And we need that always, in order to be able to understand and know exactly what we're capable of. So that brings me to the type of self-care. When I talk about self-care holistically, I mean that we need to take care of ourselves mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. And now in this video, I'm going to talk about spiritual self-care. And I don't necessarily mean religion. I definitely don't. However, if religion is a way that you take care of yourself spiritually, that's important to understand and use as a measurement. I do believe that we always need to understand that there is something far greater than our human self that is out there to support us. Whether that something far greater is a friend in the moment that we're having a really hard time, a friend that we can go to and talk about our stressors, talk about what's bothering us, talk about what inadequacies or incapabilities or fears we're managing right now, but not for the purpose of venting. In spiritual self-care, you don't necessarily want a friend that vents. You want somebody that can be a witness for you, that can hold space for you, that provides a container so that you can let go, so you can speak to the fear, so you can tell the story of what's going on for you. And in telling that story, you're actually able to release, to let go, to clear away so that that innate intelligence within can surface. Because we all know when we're stressed, it's very challenging to connect to our creativity, to connect to our intuition, to connect to that innate, amazing part of ourselves. And sometimes we need a friend to bounce that off of. And in that moment, that friend is in a far greater position than we are. So it doesn't mean that they're better than. So you're not looking necessarily for somebody that's better than. You're looking for somebody that you know will hold space for you. And they won't allow you to fuel your feelings by venting or by continuing a victim mindset. They will actually hold space for you and see you far greater than you believe you are in that moment. So that's a way to take care of yourself spiritually. Spiritual self-care, in addition to connecting to something greater than ourselves, and that can be like love, peace, acceptance, joy, appreciation. There's so many things that in the moment that we're challenged or want to take care of ourselves that we can connect to. Spiritual self-care is about how our beliefs about ourselves affect our well-being. Now, let me say that again. because we cognitively and intellectually know that we're amazing in many ways. We also intellectually know the places where we fall short. But when it comes to needing to take care of ourselves spiritually, we want to understand how our beliefs affect our well-being. So in the moment that you're faced with challenges and you realize and recognize that you're going down this, for lack of a better term, rabbit hole of, I can't do this, all of that, and you're trying to combat that, the spiritual self-care that I encourage everybody to do and stay on top of is to create a statement for yourself. You can call it a value statement, a purpose statement, a guiding principle, an I am statement. But that has 3 to 5 character traits that will help you come back to the truth of who you are. The truth of who we are is so many things. So the truth of who we are is kind, compassionate, caring. We're effective leaders. We're smart. We're capable. We're intelligent. We're accepting. We're loving. I could go on for hours. And so the thing is you have values, innate core values that resonate to you, the values that are important to you. Those are who you are. Those are the beliefs about you. And in the moment of stress and challenges, we forget about those beliefs. And we begin to fight against the problem rather than remind ourselves of who we are. You see, if you create an I am statement with even just one character trait that you can begin focusing on and creating a habit of, when you're challenged, you take the time to say, I am capable, I am capable, I am capable, I am capable, 5 to 10 times, it will bring you back to your center. Because you'll have to breathe, because you'll have to take your focus off of the challenge, and you come back to yourself. Now that may seem, esoteric. It may seem, oh, that's a great idea. I can't see myself doing that. That's allowing your discouragement to lead. Remember, what I've said in other videos is that small measures make big changes. If you have a practice of every morning while you're getting ready, or while you're brushing your teeth, that you say your I am statement the entire time to yourself, you'll start out with a higher intention and a higher belief about yourself than you did prior. There's so much research around this, and I'm not going to spend my time talking about the research, but I want you to know that this works. So you want to take care of yourself spiritually. You want to be in charge. You want to understand that your self-talk is validating limited perspectives about yourself and or beating yourself up. And it's not a way to take care of yourself. It actually is depleting. And I think if we paid closer attention to the way that we talk about ourselves, we would be more proactive about changing that self-talk. And the self-talk can be changed by saying things that are important to you, those values. Yes, is it true that you're not always kind? Yes, that's true. It's true of all of us, but it doesn't mean that you're not kind. It just means that in that moment, you're not behaving that way. And so get back on track to your stated intention of being kind by first reminding yourself that you are kind. And when you remind yourself that you are kind, you'll know exactly what to do, or whatever the trait is. Remember to get the support from somebody that will help move you out of the stress or whatever it is you're experiencing, rather than validate it. And I don't mean that this type of support is that they help you feel better. We actually are so amazing that we have the capacity to feel better by simply releasing and letting go of what's causing us to not feel better. Remind yourself that you can handle whatever occurs. You always have, and you always will. I remember when we had a fire in our house and lost everything. And in that fire, it was only 10 days after Christmas. So all the Christmas presents were gone too. And I remember, quite a few years later, learning this concept. And it was a good example because what somebody helped me see was that if you would have asked me prior to the fire, could I ever handle it when, if I lost everything? I may have said, well, I guess I would have to, but I can't imagine that I would. And the reality is I handled it. And it's not about judging how I handled it, but the part about the measurement is that you want to see that you can handle whatever occurs. You always have. And you always will. You're far more amazing than sometimes you think you are. And that's the important thing to keep in mind, that in order to expand our threshold, in order to stay inspired, even if you don't want to expand your threshold, don't focus on your goals and measure whether you're meeting those goals. Focus on, am I handling everything that comes up? Am I paying attention to where I'm coming from? So in other words, when I get in the midst of a conflict, do I have enough space inside myself to stop long enough to say, let me remember that I am a kind, caring, compassionate person, and I'm going to handle this conflict that way. We all have the capacity to do that. And everybody has the capacity to see that in others in the moment that they don't. So be that person too, because I guarantee you that makes you feel better as well. So spend today recognizing that you're far greater than any challenge you've ever had. You're far greater than any mistake you've ever made. You always were, and you always will be. And so will everybody else. So not only remind yourself, remind them too. And have a very purposeful day. Thank you.